Hey, what is going on, crypto people? I don't know why this picture looks like it's crazy to me. Happy Monday to each and every one of you. I was going to do just like a quick upload, but I decided, you know what, let me just do a live stream real quick, hang out with the Crypto Siege fam, see what's good. Listen, the market is doing what it does. We're going to go over the numbers, but listen, should anyone really be buying Bitcoin? Should anyone really be buying Bitcoin? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it today. We're going to go over the market because the market is doing what it does. So we'll go over the numbers. I think I'm going to share. I might share my latest RWA play. I shared with the Patreon group a few days ago. I think I might share it tonight. I think I might. I should wait till tomorrow technically, but I might share it tonight. I think I might share it tonight for sure. What's going on, Pookie? Pookie, Blue Rancher's in the building. What's going on, Crypto Insomniac? How are you? Should I share my latest RWA play? We'll get into that as well. My boys lost. College basketball is over for me. It's over. I'm done with it. It's over for me. I'm done. Oh man, what is going on? I had a good time hanging out in Dallas, watching some college basketball. Unfortunately, my boys went down. They went down, man. Went down. Unbelievable that they went down. Mm, heartbreak. Now I gotta go through a whole summer of who's coming back and who's not coming back. I'm excited about the incoming freshman class, but it's freshmen. It's freshmen. I don't know. Last time my boys won with freshmen was 2015. And actually it took a freshman to come in. We almost lost that, but we did win it all. But freshmen. That's 2015. It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago. It's really not a long time ago when you consider how hard it is to win a national championship. So, so what if it's only 9 years ago since you won a national championship? You won a national championship. What the world? Schools have gone for the history of their of its inception and never have won a national championship. So you can't be complaining because you haven't won one in 9 years. Not a great look. So listen, we're going to get into this thing. Some interesting stuff. I'm going to cover a little bit of from Anthony Pompliano's recent video. And listen, I bought Bitcoin today. I've decided that it's not making sense not to continue to buy it when you can. I'm going to take the Simon Dixon and the Benjamin Cohen kind of approach to it and just flip the script in my brain that it's not about the dollar value of Bitcoin. It is about how many Bitcoin you have. Because I just ultimately came to the conclusion that this is going to be a world in which you have Bitcoin. It's an asset that you will have multiple places to borrow against that asset. And you'll be able to borrow what you want to borrow. In some cases, it will be dirty, nasty fiat. In some cases, it will be stable coins or other digital assets. It could be gold. I don't think it's gonna matter. I think there's going to be a lending and borrow market in traditional finance and crypto, where BTC will be a valued asset and you will be able to borrow against it. And every minute of every hour is just making more and more sense to me to own it, to have it. I just, the rest of us just got to figure out how we're going to own it, how we're going to asset, and how are you going to leverage it? Are you going to leverage it in the way that BlackRock and Fidelity are leveraging it, and the way these RIAs are leveraging it? It's an asset to be leveraged. It has become Bitcoin and crypto has become a new asset class. How do you leverage it? Is really more important than whether you think uh, uh, the way you think about the asset. It's how you leverage it. I just imagine a world that it's you're going to be able to lend and borrow against it, and whether you're paying back in other crypto or you're paying back in dirty nasty fiat, it's going to become an asset it's going to become a store value asset. And if tokenization and BlackRock and all that stuff is going to happen, I believe that's going to happen. And the rumor on the street now is Hong Kong is going the route of Bitcoin ETFs. They're going to do it in kind as opposed to cash, like the US. Gary Gensler was adamant, jumped around in a puddle like a 5-year-old boy and said, nope, it's going to have to be cash, redeem cash. We're not going to let you do in kind. Hong Kong apparently said, yeah, we're going to do ours in kind. Big mistake by hashtag Gary Gensler. It's not your friend, in my opinion, but we shall see. So anyway, that is the deal. We're going to get into it for sure. Rafi's in the building. What's going on, my friend? Kyle T. Moore, the Mastermind Group Patreon members here. What's going on, Kyle? How are you, bro? Did you see my latest video on my latest RWA play I shared with you guys? Hope you check that out. Let me know what you think about it. I may share it tonight. Because I put it out. Put it out Wednesday, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, I might put it out tonight. To the rest of the Crypto Sieges fam. Boy, oh boy, it's a good, interesting play too, because I've been seeing some of the top people on crypto recommending it. So, this is obviously after I got it, but in any case, yeah. Kyle Timor says, we'll definitely check it out later tonight. Absolutely. Awesome, bro. So listen, let's get into this thing with this Bitcoin. Should you own more Bitcoin? And in the end, I did a live stream not too long ago, 4 or 5 live streams ago, maybe. I talked about, looking at the market and just looking at the historical data. And look, Bitcoin at all-time high, someone new buying it, altcoins at all-time high, 3 years later, bear market, whatever. Bitcoin is just outdoing it. Right. So it's just all this intelligent play in crypto that we have to get used to and leverage. And I hope you guys will check that video out, because I just talked about it's just the play that you got to make. I believe that in the Crypto Sieges home, when I say you got to make, I'm talking about me and just leveraging the asset and the asset class to the best of your ability, getting back to the old days of the reason why you're in the alts is so that you can own more Bitcoin. And I just wrestled with it and just come to the conclusion that it makes sense for sure. I saw a video today on X of you know how they do those realtors? They got all these realtor shows, real estate shows, and of all these real estate people, high-end real estate salespeople and all this other stuff. And it was an actual person who wanted to buy a high-end, like a $13 or $14 million apartment, 2-bedroom apartment in 2015. And their offer was in Bitcoin. 50,000 Bitcoin in 2015. 50,000 Bitcoin. And the investor that the realtor was working with is like, dude, first of all, this offer is in Bitcoin. Like, really? In Bitcoin? And it's 1 million below the price I'm asking for. And he said, the video kind of ended, well, this is a 2-bedroom apartment. And the reality is you're asking for $14 million for a 2-bedroom apartment. But the message was that 50,000 Bitcoin to buy that $13 million apartment is worth $3 billion at Bitcoin price of 50,000. I think it was, yeah. It's worth $3 billion at Bitcoin price of 50. 3 billion? So someone was around early, and if they had 50,000 Bitcoin, or whatever the price was, I saw the video. It was crazy, because I've seen the realtor before on these, Netflix or whatever. Yeah, it was worth 3 billion. I think 277 million, if that's correct. I don't know. Anyway, it all makes it just, we got to accept the market for what it is and not be emotional about it in the end. So let's get onto this stuff here. I wanted to share my guy, the modern investor, the GOAT. How many of you guys know that the Modern Investor was like the first YouTube channel that covered XRP. The Modern Investor. Let's see if I don't, yeah. I don't know if you guys know TMI, the Modern Investor on YouTube. He's got like 2 or 3 YouTube channels, killing the game. Massive amount of subs between 2 channels. He says the Modern Investor, and he was one of the first people not only covering XRP on YouTube, but defending XRP against the maxis back in the day. He was the first. He was before everybody, before Cobb, for all of them. It was the Modern Investor. The GOAT, in my opinion. So he says, it's impossible to put into words how excited I am for the halving this bull run. I've been buying crypto nonstop. The money to be made this market cycle is going to blow people away. If you've been buying, get ready for an awesome ride, my friends. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So this is his interview here. Shout out to the Modern Investor. This is the dude that got me most excited about starting a channel, was the Modern Investor. Pomp, it was on, you know, Squawk NBC thing, whatever, you know, Squawk NBC. But he has an interesting point. He says something in here that I think is significant. I think is really, really significant. Take a listen to this.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. Take a look at Bitcoin prices this morning. We're just hovering under $70,000 right about now. This month, expected to bring the next Bitcoin halving, in which the reward for mining cryptocurrencies drops by half. Joining us right now on All Things Crypto, Anthony Pompliano, a Pomp Investment founder, of course, and partner. Good morning to you. We were trying to figure out, on one end, it's like a risk-on situation. On the other, it's arguably supposed to be a hedge, and it's very hard for me to get around the idea it's both, though maybe you have a view that it is. Then there was the halving that's coming, so that's sort of an idiosyncratic one piece of the puzzle, but not something that's like an ongoing piece that you could argue it is in certain ways. And then you have the ETF, which was also sort of an idiosyncratic moment in time. So put that puzzle together for us.
Yeah, Bitcoin is the most exciting asset in financial markets because of what you just described. It's this highly complex thing that everyone's trying to figure out. And I think for some people, it is a risk-on asset. And for other people, it is a hedge against inflation or a store of value. And so if we just look at—
Can it be both?
Of course, it can be different things to different people, right? Right now, I think one of the most interesting parts about this is if you go and you talk to someone on Wall Street, why are they buying it? They're buying it because they want the price exposure via the ETFs. But if you go and you talk to someone maybe in a country where they actually are worried about somebody seizing their assets, they're buying Bitcoin because they literally want to make sure that they can hold on to the economic value. And so you have an asset that this is not unique just to Bitcoin in the sense of some assets serve different purposes for different people. I think Bitcoin, because of its global nature, because of the decentralization, and because it was adopted by individuals before the institutions, we're just seeing it kind of exaggerated as we watch the asset become adopted. Now, we just hit a really important milestone before the halving. We just had the highest weekly, monthly, and quarterly close for Bitcoin.
Right.
And so the last 4 times that that's happened, Bitcoin has appreciated at least 300% through the rest of the bull market.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's going to happen again, but to have that happen before the halving, it's kind of like the demand shock happened. Now we're going to have the supply shock.
Right.
And so it's hard just to see how the prices continue to go up.
I want to ask you this question, and it goes to the risk on versus the inflation hedge. So I just got back from South Africa, and I literally asked everybody who was around when I was in Zimbabwe, in Zambia. By the way, the rand has done terribly. Right? It's been inflated away. Horrific situation. And I would ask anybody who was around, very wealthy people, folks who are middle class, folks who are at the bottom, and I said, do you own any Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Almost to a T, they said no, that actually was not a thing. And this was, and by the way, this was, I mean, it wasn't a scientific study, but a lot of people I asked about Bitcoin because I thought that the conversation we have around this table is that somehow the unbanked and everybody who's in these countries that is struggling with inflation is buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And they're, at least from what I saw, they're not. And then I went to look at the flows, and it also is true that they're not.
Yeah.
The math does not suggest that the hedge argument on inflation is actually a real one. And I just wonder whether it's sort of used to sort of sprinkle fairy dust to other people who then are speculating. I think there's a lot of people out there that are speculating and want it obviously to go higher, and it's a risk-on asset. That's my take on it at the moment.
Yeah, so I think it depends on what country you go look at, and I'll give you kind of two examples: one that supports yours and one that would contradict it. If you go to somewhere like Nigeria, it's definitely true that people are buying Bitcoin, and I don't know why it's happening in Nigeria, not in South Africa, but we see that. Then if you go somewhere like Argentina, there are some people buying Bitcoin, but there's a lot of people who want dollar-backed stable coins, and they actually want the dollar, not Bitcoin. And so I think country by country, you're going to see different adoption of.
Absolutely. And that is very, very true. In Argentina and other places, they like the stable coins. They like the stable coin idea a little bit more than they like the Bitcoin idea, because for them, this whole idea of, look, I can't afford to be in an asset that's going up 60% and going down 70%. I'm trying to live my fiat, my dirty, nasty fiat for my country is garbage. I need something I need to stabilize it. And so they're buying the stable coins. And then that makes sense. Now, there are some who are maybe in a different situation where they're not, that need for stabilization is not so much. And perhaps then they're buying some Bitcoin, right? And eventually that's going to just trend to, once they get everything kind of stable in their lives, they'll begin to dabble. And obviously, once they begin to dabble, they will first start with Bitcoin, and then they will eventually, just like all of us, eventually get into other altcoins and all that stuff. And dare I say, eventually in the DeFi and the real world assets. So, but this is an interesting point. This is very, very important. The United States dollar has lost 25% of its purchasing power in 4 years. Raul Paul talks about this all the time, the debasement of the currency, right? It's about 15%. Intentionally done. And I learned today by listening to the Wolf of Wall Street, and he had a few people on. One of them was David Weisberger. I think it's Weisberger. And they talked about something that I think is so important that people are missing. But anyway, the United States dollar has lost 25% of its purchasing power in 4 years, while Bitcoin has gained over 800%. We are watching a global store of value be adopted. And I think that's the thing that's important to understand. I say in the channel all the time, Bitcoin hasn't won the store of value in the digital asset space yet, but it is winning. It's winning that. We as XRP holders may look and say that we believe XRP is store of value. But in terms of this whole space, in terms of the digital asset space globally, Bitcoin is winning that. And you can't argue that. You just can't argue that thing. I'm going to see if I can't find this video that I watched today from the Wolf of Wall Street and share with you guys, because he had a chart on there, and hopefully I can find this chart. And this chart says, it speaks to exactly what Raul Paul from Real Vision Crypto, Global Macro Investor, has been saying for I don't know how long now, and that the United States and central banks, but especially the United States central bank and the monetary policy people, cannot afford to let the boomers who have the biggest amount of wealth, the boomers, we can't let that demise happen. That we can't let it happen. We're stuck. It's the majority of the wealth. They own it. And we're stuck. Hopefully I can find this. Oh, yeah, it is right there. There's this chart here.
The under 40s, you get the millennials and Gen Z are just kind of like their ability to generate wealth has been decimated. So you can see from 1990s down into the 2020s, their share of overall wealth has just been decimated because it's been very difficult to keep up with inflation. Then you've got the boomers. Look at the boomers down at the bottom. Look at what has happened to their share of the wealth versus Gen.
And the challenge is, the central banks didn't necessarily make the challenge, but the challenge is these people here, and I don't know if it's 70 plus. I would say it's 60 plus, but they say 70 plus. The challenge is that those people decided to put their wealth in the stock market. Right? Like the what is it? The Warren Buffetts of the world and that age group and all of that, they decided to put their wealth 30, 40, 50, 60 years of whatever in the market, in the stock market, in the S&P, in the NASDAQ. So this is where all the wealth of the US is going, right? And the pension funds, right? They did the same thing. And so that the US can't afford to let that crash and destroy, because this is where all the wealth is for the country. I mean, look at this chart. Look at this chart. Look. It's brutal in these streets. So you got to have an asset that is going to outperform these numbers. And the only asset right now is Bitcoin, the digital asset space. This is what Raoul Pal keeps saying, Bitcoin and other cryptos. This is the only answer. There is no other. It's not gold, even though gold has its place. But how you got to catch up to this 15% debasement of your of your money. And the asset prices are going up because the governments are making sure that it goes up. To keep these, you can't let this demise happen. These people got to just die off. You can't let this demise happen. All the wealth is over here. That's the challenge. That is the challenge. And so their answer is this inflation and messing around with inflation and debasing the dollar. Keep popping this thing up as much as they can, prop it up and prop it up and prop it up, because they have to. So we have to respond to what the market, what's going on in the monetary policy. In other words, we got to be right. So the debasement of, here it is down up here with these two people up here, the debasement of the money for us to buy stuff is going down. And the challenge is the asset, where all the market is going up. It's becoming more expensive to own the assets. So the income's not going up. Income's not going up. I mean, I was in the federal government. We got, I don't know what the raise was, 6-7% every year. The basement's 15%. Most people aren't getting 6 or 7% every year. I got it for 30 plus years, right? But that's not normal. And it's still not matching. Everybody keeps looking just at inflation. That's the challenge. The challenge is the assets that we need to own, that we would like to own to maintain and create wealth, is becoming more expensive. And our purchasing power, like Anthony Pompliano mentioned, is going down. That, my friends, is the challenge. That's the challenge. Like for me, I think every time if I get extra $500 somewhere or whatever, it's like, okay, 100 in Bitcoin, 400 in crypto, right? Take advantage of the market, wind, moon, and all that stuff, and then leverage it. Stable coins, right? Keep that value in stables, because we all know what's going to happen when the bear market comes. At least most of us, because most of us have now been exposed to, 2 or 3 little bull runs. And so we know how the market responds. But again, for me, I'm taking the Simon Dixon and Benjamin Cohen approach to Bitcoin when it comes to Bitcoin. And that is not looking at the price of Bitcoin, looking at how much Bitcoin I own. And again, back in 2016, 2017, that was the mantra. Yeah, we're owning all this other stuff so that in the end, we can get more Bitcoin. So I'm just saying, for me, that's kind of where I'm adopted. I'm getting back to that. Is I, like a lot of people, I just fell in love with alts and I missed the principle. And then you got, swayed by whatever, and you start thinking about technology and missed it. Just missed it. Technology, it's expensive, it's slow, and missed it. That's just what I'm saying. For me, that's what happened. Just kind of missed it. So panel says something here I wanted to share with you guys, because again, I do think that for us as XRP holders, for the majority of people who are XRP holders, who are not shareholders in Ripple, in my humble opinion, the value of the asset, XRP, and the price going up is going to take people building stuff on the XRPL. And banks and institutions are a long ways away from adding value to the price of XRP. Not buying a product from Ripple. Not buying a product from Ripple. That has nothing to do, or very, very, very little to do with the XRP holder. It's so very, very important to understand that. And you got to understand that people like Brad Kimes and people like Digital Asset Investor, who will constantly keep promoting Ripple, is because they are shareholders in Ripple. I saw some nonsensical post from Brad Kimes trying to justify why he doesn't share Flare. And he blamed it on the SEC might come after them. I'm just trying to understand, like, boldly put that on X. The reason why I don't share projects like Flare Networks is because the SEC might come after them. Didn't you share Ripple? The SEC went after Ripple, and didn't you continue to share Ripple after the SEC went after them in the lawsuit? How does that make any sense? Make that make sense, Pookie. Kyle Timor, how does that make sense? Anyway, so Panos is like co-founder of something called Anados Finance project on the XRPL. Says here, if you want to make a payment or send money, but you have XRP and the other party wants USDC, what can you do? Instead of manually converting XRP to USDC and then sending USDC to the other party, you can use Anados Swap, powered by XRPL's automated market maker and DEX, to do everything in one click and one transaction. He has a little thing here. Let's see if we can't share it. I don't know why there's audio to this, but let's see if we can't look at it. devnet.anados.finance, so you can play around. You don't have to use any real money. And the best thing to do is to just get a new Gem wallet or a new Crossmark wallet. And the purpose of it is just for DevNet testing. Well, you don't have to connect any real money wallets. So let's take a look. XRP USDC says it's one click. Oh, send to another wallet. Oh, I didn't see that right there. Okay. I see. Nice, Panos. Nice. So this is kind of a traditional DeFi swap thing, right? Understand that the swap markets in DeFi, it's a peer-to-peer thing. In other words, people participating make this thing be able to work, right? So anyway, XRP USDC, you can see it right here, right? He's got this little button over here in the middle. It says send to another wallet. You can put the XRP address in here of the other wallet that you want to, the person wants USDC and whatever. Interesting. That's pretty cool, I think. I think that's pretty cool. So there it is right there. You check the little box there. And then once you hit swap, it'll swap, but it's going to be, this is where it's going to be go to. Interesting. Let's see what else he's got. Hit swap. He's got to approve it in the Crossmark Gem Wallet. I think that was Gem Wallet. Transaction was successful. And that's it. Interesting. Shout out to Panos and Anados Finance. Shout out to them for interesting little thing there. Very, very cool. And again, Panos doesn't hide behind the Twitter police and cancel culture. He's willing to post something and respond. unlike Brad Kimes and unlike Digital Asset Investor, who posts stuff and will not respond. And as to be a content creator and do that is pretty shameful. Pretty shameful. But Panos kind of goes back and forth here on different things there. But that's pretty cool. You can just put the XRP wallet address. And I would imagine, if they're in crypto, you can tell them, okay, cool, just get yourself an XRP wallet address and I'll send it to you. I think that's pretty cool. Let me see. Did I share? Yeah, share them on Investor. So some of my RWA plays looks like some people are picking up on them. Now, I'm highlighting this guy here at Lenton Worm because if you see 10 people, they're doing these posts now, and I know it's for whatever reasons, for X and all that other stuff, but they're doing these posts and they're sharing RWA plays, the best 50 AI plays, the best altcoins that are going to 100X, whatever, all that kind of stuff. 8 out of 10 of them, at least 7 out of 10. Say they credit this dude for their posts. So they're essentially getting their stuff from him, and then they're making their own posts. But right here, he's talking about, I think this is the one that I want to highlight. I think it is. Anyway, it says, we are the biggest alt season in history. Everyone will make 10 to 50X on their entire portfolio. 5,000 portfolio will be around 50 to 250K in 2025. All you need is to buy the right alts. I made 50X on several alts. Here's my next picks, right? And I just kind of looked at this stuff here. In the modern crypto world, token prices are often determined by psychological factors. Say that again. In the modern crypto world, token prices are often determined by psychological factors. The project does not have to have utility. So very important to understand where the market is, where the market has been. Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse on the real world use case stuff. Yes, but it ain't here. It hasn't been for the last 2 or 3 bull runs. Hasn't been ever. And it isn't here now. And maybe perhaps one day in the future it will be, but it ain't happening in this bull run. And this is the bull run. This is the bull run that's the most important one. The one we are entering. That's the most important one. Look at memes, for example, says Lenton Worm. All they have is a really strong community. But their market cap is sometimes really huge. I saw a post on X about Arbitrum and Dog with Hat. The Dog with Hat meme coin market cap in the billions was higher than Arbitrum, a layer 2, quote unquote, scaling solution with real people and projects building on it. Do you understand? He says here, by monitoring smart money or insider wallets, you can predict which coins will likely pump next. That's why I dedicated around 2 weeks to thorough research on over 500 successful smart money wallets. My focus was on RWAs, AI, GameFi, and memes. RWA and AI, all right. Find out 7 crypto tokens, 17 of them. That could be the market leaders bringing you 10 to 100x returns the cycle. I've been hesitant to buy this, but I'm going to put some dirty, nasty fiat into this. This is called Balls, B-A-L-L-Z. Price 44 cents, market cap $202. It says here, you still don't have balls? Bro, stop being a loser. Yeah. So there's our RWA play. Next one, we've been shared on the community with the crypto fam for a minute. Undo Finance he has here. Price is $1. We had market cap 1.44 billion. Undo's mission is to make institutional grade financial products and services accessible to everyone. And they just recently put out that they hold more of those Buildo tokens, Buildo from BlackRock than anyone else. Then there's GLQ. We don't have that. And they don't have that. I played around with Satoshi DM. There was some challenges, I think, with the project or the launch pad or something like that. Anyway, there's another AI play here, Auto Air AI. Then there's Oriya Chain. Interesting. Then there's Polytrade. That's another one that we share with the community. Up massively since we shared it. Then there's this one here, Build on Lumia, ORN for Lumia. Then there's Rio Reality Network. I've been looking into it. Realio Network. It's an RWA play. I've been looking into it. Actually, I think it's more AI as well. Then there's DEAI is 01 Labs. I've been doing my homework on that one. Here's another play we share with you guys, IX Swap. Again, I'm pointing this out because, again, all these people on X reference this guy and say, thanks to this guy, this is, kind of where I got my stuff. They're giving him the props, him or her. So there's IX Swap as well. I just want to share that with you guys. I don't see if there's another one. But so that's it. So 3 of those we had. Okay. So just something important to note. I thought I saw our latest RWA play on here, but I don't see it. But anyway, our latest RWA play is going to be right here. And it's Landex, Trade Agricultural Assets, creating first global marketplace for investing and trading AG assets on chain. Doing my homework. I took a small play. I think it was around $50. Took a small play initially on it to have some, and I bought really at kind of close to highs there. But I think what they got going on here makes sense. The Perpetual Commodity Vaults Protocol. Commodity vaults provide investors an inflation hedged return backed by a legal contract secured on underlying farmland. Now, I've done my homework on it, and they got a very well thought out business model that I thought was really, really good. So Landex makes commodity vaults available as a liquid digital assets. Their token is LNDX for those of us in the US who probably can only participate in owning the token. Do your homework, do your due diligence on this. I have. Again, I took a small position. It's like $50. It might have been 40 something bucks. Took a small position, and I've been doing more and more homework. I like what they got going on. They have a very active X thing as well. But I like the concept of commodity vault, and the commodity vaults consist of, I think, rice, corn. I forget another one. It's an interesting, very, very interesting model with these X tokens and these C tokens, what they call commodity collateral. How they make these arrangements with the farmland owners, the whole 9 yards. To me, it makes sense. So until I do more homework, I'm going to stay with that just small investment. But I like the idea and the concept. I shared it with the Patreon group initially, and so now I'm sharing it with you guys. So there it is, fam. Just wanted to hop on here and kind of share that with you guys, what we got going on here. Yep. Homebase Income 101. What's going on, my friend? Appreciate you checking in. Oh, my God. Tap the Line is in the building. The Blue Wrench is in the building. What's going on? Alex G checked in. Z-Zam and the Real Big Will. What's good, CJ, man? What's going on, the Real Big Will? How are you, bro? Tap the Line says, yes, once I get my feet back on the ground, I'm buying more. Oh, awesome. Char XRP says, modern investor is the GOAT. Yep, he's the GOAT. He was the one promoting XRP with a YouTube channel before everyone was. Awesome guy. Yeah. He seems like a real cool dude. Dano is in the building, says, remember when I asked my wife, let's spend $100 on this new thing called Bitcoin? It's 0 cents. She said, what? It was sick. What? She said, no such thing as get rich quick. It's been 15 years. I remind her every day. Wow, Dano. Wow. Wow. Homebase Income 1 said, from now on, in my stock market investment will be dividends. I will am buying food dividend stocks. Nice. I can buy the name brands I invest in as long as the companies pay. I loan them my money. Yeah. Dividend stocks, right? Yep. Pomp is a plant, says Tampa. Investing in crypto taught me how to invest. That's home-based income 101. Exactly. That's right. We all miss it at least once, without question, right? Because we're not accustomed to it. Because you got this whole accredited investor thing. Most people have never invested before. Bubba Smith, I appreciate that. Rubbing in to drop a like, sees. Appreciate it, my friend. We'll watch the replay later. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. No, do all decks get the same returns for the AM? If you're talking about the ledger, the UI interface, remember, every pool is going to be setting their own kind of stuff. So that's the difference, is that every pool will be setting their fees. So I don't know if the fees are going to be the same. So I don't think so, will be my answer. More monkey business. Boston Mass is in the building. How are you? Oh, he lost it. Oh, brutal. Home-based income 101. Lost $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. He is brutal. He talks about it all the time. Funny, but not funny. Yeah, brutal. So there it is, fam. I just wanted to share that stuff with you. Do your homework on, if you're interested, do your homework on this thing here, Landex. It's Landex.fi, Landex.fi. If you're interested in it, for sure. Well, that's our latest RWA play, if you will. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. After you've done your research, let me know what you think. All right, fam. Look, so I'm gonna hop off here. It's dinner time. And I'm gonna grab something to eat, and continue watching my show. All right, fam. There it is. Thank you so much for hanging out on a Monday night. I know you guys could be doing a lot of things, and you came to hang out with the Crypto Siege. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to end this live stream like I do all my live streams and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win, but that's okay, though, because you and I, we are already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.